about that cowbell. Anyhow, this is the Walrus and the Carpenter by Mr. Lewis Carroll. If you'd like to give him a round of applause after the song is over, you can, but he won't respond because he's dead. Best to make the billows smooth and bright, and this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be, the sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no clouds were in the sky. No birds were flying over and there were no birds to fly. The song's begun, Seth slyly said to sing a seaside song, and if these two could hear it, they would surely sing along. But listen close, yes, hearken up, what madness may befall us at the discourse of the Carpenter and Walrus. And now into the story, enter our heroes walking. The Walrus and the Carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said it would be grand. 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year. Do you suppose, the Walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the Carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. It looks as though the Walrus is already whining freely. He seems to hate the seaside more than should someone so seely. I'll bet if he was swimming, he would whine about the fishes. Luckily, the aforementioned are delicious. Now, the Walrus and the Carpenter will initiate a conversation with sea creatures. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the Walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to give a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave his oyster bed. The 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for the treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, you know, they had many feet. A pleasant conversation did the Walrus then propose. The eldest did reject it cause he just innately knows. He shook his head so silently, told Walrus where to stuck it. The Walrus is in seafood by the bucket. Through the frothy waves and scrambling to the shore. The Walrus and the Carpenter walked on a mile or so. Then they rested on a rock conveniently low. And all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. Oh, unsuspecting oysters, I do hate to spoil your fun, but for you to save your lives today, the best you could is run. For carpenters are hungry and the level of the dangers a lot like taking candy from a stranger. Said to talk of many things, of shoes and ships, and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. Wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat. For some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the Carpenter, they thanked him much for that. The Carpenter to grant their last request. The chubby little oysters really do deserve a rest, so they can get their minds in order, thinking just enough to comprehend the sealing wax and stuff. the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar besides are very good indeed. Now if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said, do you admire the view? It was so nice of you to come, you are very nice. The carpenter said nothing but cut us another slice. I wish you were not quite so deaf, I've had to ask it twice. Learn a lesson, don't just come away with Zippo. For carpenters and walruses like hungry hippos will eat you up and poop you out. There are a little selfish, trick and eat those unsuspecting shellfish. Trick. After we've brought them out so far and made them trot so quick, the carpenter said nothing but the butter spread too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said, I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. Oh, oyster, said the carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none. And this was scarcely odd, because they'd eaten everyone. One thing that bothers me, though you may not yet know it, are the obvious addictions of Victorian era poets. My cleanliness is soiled and my sanity's in peril at the opium of Mr. Lewis Carroll. What a nut. I tell you folks, this guy was insane. Why did I put an ad-lib at the end of this song? Dude, that was really, really trippy.